Carolyn did a good speech about social media, I'm actually just continuing from her speech. I'm also going to be doing about social media. So like most of you, I use social media platforms like Facebook and Instagram to post daily happenings of my life. But I guess because I was a mass communication student before and also currently, I'm very aware of the information which I post online, and I will not post sensitive information because I feel that it may have a risk upon me. I assume that all social media users would be like me, and they're very cautious about the things that they post online, but I had a shock of my life when I actually saw the social media accounts of my students. So what happened is that I'm actually a student development officer at IT College West, and I manage the top students and the student leaders at IT College West. So I thought that my job basically consists of organizing camps and workshops, but one aspect of my job which I did not expect to do is basically having to monitor the social media accounts of my students. So it started innocently enough. My students asked me to revive my Instagram account, so they added me on Instagram. So from there, I actually were able to view their Instagram posts, and I was appalled by the information which they post on Instagram, because to me, they post too many things on Instagram. But what was worse was when my students have trusted me enough, and they even snapshot my other students' Twitter or Snapchat posts, and they will send it to me and they're like, Miss D, you need to see this. So I see even more things which they post on other social media platforms, so I was really concerned. And from there, I realized that my students are so used to the narcissistic online lifestyle where they will post every single thing on social media, on every platform, and some of these posts actually reflected badly on themselves as a student leader. So take this example of my student Mandy. Mandy is a helpful enough student, but she has trouble controlling her emotions. So when she's angry, she will tweet every single emotion that she feels. But the irony of it is that some of her followers are actually the people whom she's complaining about. So every single tweet that she posted. So because of that, her peers actually distanced themselves away from Mandy. And as a staff, I had to step in and I had to intervene, and I had to tell Mandy that she should filter the information that she posts online, and she should not tweet every single emotion that she's feeling, because that's just too much information, right? So besides Mandy, I actually also face other students who face this problem, and through my own observation, I feel that most social media users now do not have the habit of filtering the information which they post online. Next is that, Next is that the concept of privacy is ambiguous, and users do not take the time to think before they click, because they feel that instantaneous posts are expected. So, in my speech today, I will highlight to you why you should filter the information you post on social media, because there are serious repercussions on yourself, your family, and your loved ones. Firstly, why should you filter the information that you post online? It's because of the viral nature of online information. So, information which you post on your private account, you feel that it's for your private account, it can actually spread to other digital platforms. A classic example of this is this story of Anton Casey. I'm not sure if some of you who are not locals, you're not familiar with the story, so I'll share with you the story. So Anton Casey was a British expatriate who was working in Singapore. He's a banker, so obviously he's rich, and he owns a silver Porsche. So one day, his silver Porsche was sent for repair. So he had no choice, but he had to bring his son to take the MRT with him. And that's when he posted this photo of his son on his Facebook account, and he says, with the caption which says, "Daddy, where is your car, and who are all these poor people?" So, meaning to say the people who take the MRT are poor. Subsequently, he posted a second photo of his son with his silver Porsche, and he says, "Normal service can resume once I have washed the stench of public transport of me." So, of course, local Singaporeans took offense on his derogatory comments of poor people in Singapore. Because to him, poor people are those who are taking public transport, right? And his case even made the local gossip website Storm and made headlines in the British press. And he became an overnight pariah through his online posts, and online netizens began snooping about his personal information and share it with others. So they share about his wife, they share about his son, and share about his occupation. And his lack of discretion actually cost him his job, as reported in Asia 1. And subsequently, he left of Perth after the O-level, right? So that's the story of Anton Casey. Next story, which another reason why I feel that you should filter the information which you post online is because whatever you post isn't really private. And most of us actually believe this common myth that only my friends can see my Facebook posts because you feel that your account is private. But here I'm going to tell you that with advancement in technology, your so-called post on your own Twitter or Facebook account can easily be shared or snapshot, as per my student's example I shared earlier. So even if you have deleted it thereafter, people can actually, your information which you have shared earlier can come back to haunt you. Okay, take this example which happened at my own workplace. Sad to say, it's at my own workplace. It's actually a very simple story of two hormonal immature boys fighting over one girl, okay, but with an added weapon which is a knife. So it became known as the infamous slashing case at IT College West. And what was different about this case was that the spectators, the audience of around the two boys who were fighting were actually capturing all of their fights on their mobile phones. So I remembered when I first heard about that incident, I came running down hoping to see something like a normal K-pop Singaporean. But unfortunately, I was blocked by this whole mess of people who were crowding around the case. So I couldn't see anything. But to reflect the viral nature of online information, within less than 5 minutes, I actually received photos and videos of this fight through Twitter and through WhatsApp. So it was that fast because to reflect the viral nature of online information. And when, similar to the Anton Casey case, this story became was picked up by Storm, and it reflected badly on our college and became a PR nightmare. But what happened next was that some of the users who actually uploaded the videos on Twitter, they actually feared the repercussions that they may face, and they tried to delete the online content. But unfortunately, as I mentioned earlier, people have already snapshot images of their videos, and even from this Straits Times online article, their usernames are clearly visible. So for the school, it's easy for us to track who are the users who uploaded this video. So, as such, through these two examples, I've highlighted to you that there are serious repercussions on yourself, your family, and your organization if you post information online without any discretion. Most of us assume that our social media account is a safe zone for us to air our grievances online, but sad to say that actually, because of the viral nature of online information, the things that you post on your private account may actually receive more coverage than you initially expect. So you should be prepared for that. Thus, I would actually like to motivate all of you here to learn the process of filtering the information which you post online. So what exactly is filtering? As depicted in this image, we all have a multitude of content we would like to post on social media. But before you post the information on social media, I would like to urge all of you to run through a simple 3-step filtering process, which I will elaborate further. So, the first step of filtering is basically to think about the impact on yourself. Most of us, when it comes to when we are agitated or when there are high emotions, we tend to post things immediately because we are trying to get support from our online friends. But actually, certain things like that may actually backfire on you. So do think of the long-term consequence before you post things at the heat of the moment. Okay, next is reflect if the information that you post will actually have an adverse effect on your family or friends. Maybe as youths, for example, my students, most of them are actually comfortable with exposing their entire life on social media, but others may not. So do think of the consequence if you are actually posting photos or information of others, especially if they are minors, as there are unscrupulous individuals who may make use of such information for other users. Like, for example, this is a story happened to Haris Iskandar. He is actually a comedian in Malaysia. So, to share the joy of fatherhood, he posts various photos of his sons, various photos of his 2 children on his social media account. But he thought all was well until he received a Google alert which informed him that photos of his son was actually being used in a pornographic website. So of course he was disturbed. He sought actions against the pornographic website, and eventually the photo, he was able to take down his son's photo, but the damage has been done. His son's photo was associated with this pornographic website. So again, the risk that people may actually misuse your photos or information which you post online is there, and I'm sure that you would not want that for your own family members. The final step of filtering is to ensure that your post will not have an adverse effect on your organization or your school. As mentioned earlier, there is a ripple effect from your simple tweet or Facebook post on your organization, and you should be especially careful if your information is confidential or incriminating to your organization, as you may even be sued for it. Thus, this three-step filtering process will enable you to think logically, prevent you from posting posts at the heat of the moment, and by controlling the information which you post, you also control how others think of you, your family, and your organization. So, imagine yourself 5 years down the road when you have completed your studies and you have a great family and career. But just because of one instance, when you were so irritated by the noise made by your neighbor, so you were so irritated, imagine the anger that you feel, and you actually posted this Facebook update about your neighbor. So you say, the Malay wedding at my product is so noisy and giving me a headache. Why can't they have the wedding at hotel? And with the vulgarity there. So, and just through this heat of the moment post, as I said, most of these times always heat of the moment post, you are labelled as a racist by netizens, and you garnered a condemnation, and imagine all the personal information that they will snoop and share about you. Imagine the constant harassment that you will face online, and imagine the mental stress that you and your family will be subjected to. You will feel that you will have nowhere to hide, and eventually you will choose to leave Singapore, as what happened to Amy Chong. Amy Chong, as you can see here, she posted a racist comment about her Malay wedding and a neighbor, but people have vouched that she isn't really a racist in real life, but as I said, your offhand Facebook post may have a significant impact on your life. So I wouldn't want any of you to face a similar fate as Amy Chong. Okay, as elaborated by Keith Siddle, who is an attorney and an author, the reality is that every post, tweet, and text has an opportunity for reward and risk. So the idea is that you should minimize your risk while maximizing your reward through social media. Indeed, social media is a double-edged sword which can bring you unimaginable reward or risk. So, I hope that all of you will filter the information that you post on social media, take the time to think before you click, and be responsible social media users from today onwards. Thank you.